The woman you marry is not who's leaving you. She's changed, colder, distant, and acting like a different person. She says, it's not you, it's her. But deep down, you know something's shifted. Maybe she started dressing differently. Maybe she's even more secretive with her phone. Or she's suddenly too busy for intimacy. Here's the hard truth. Your wife just isn't drifting away randomly. She's in phase 3 of the wife's exit strategy. And if you don't see what's happening, she'll just move to phase 4. And then it's almost too late. In this video, I'm going to break down phases 3, 4, and 5 of the wife's exit strategy. The exact roadmap that wives take before leaving their marriage or deciding on whether to remove you as their husband permanently, and how to stop her before she reaches the point of no return. Because by the time she's checked out emotionally, she's already planned her escape. I've created a PDF guide that breaks down all 7 phases of the wife's exit strategy. Comment action below and I'll send it to you ASAP. No email, no hassle, just comment. Why? Because this will help you pinpoint exactly what phase your wife is in right now. Why Christ forbids divorce? Because moving on too soon kills the chance to come back. Most couples never reconcile because they move on before the anger fades. And once the interference of another man, remarriage, or pride sets in, it's almost impossible. For this reason, you should act now while you still have a window. So let me help you understand this a little bit better with Bob's story. Bob is a former client of mine who experienced a very dark and serious tragedy. But was he able to come out of it on top? Let's find out by watching his story. Case study, Bob's story. A client of mine, we'll just call him Bob, came to me when his marriage was already deep in phase 3 of the wife's exit strategy. His beloved was emotionally and physically involved with another man. They even had 4 kids, and on the surface, everything just looked normal. Life, dinner, school run, sports, everything just went on and life just went on as usual. But at night, something deeper and darker went on. She'd get up, leave the house, and go sleep with the other man. Then come back and climb back into bed with Bob, like nothing even happened. Crazy, right? But then, with just over 2 months of working together, Bob stopped making excuses, and he stepped up. His wife cut things off with the other man. They rebuilt the emotional connection, started communicating again, and yes, they even started making love again. Look, Bob's wife didn't want another man. She just wanted her husband back, her real husband back. So, what happened? What happened was Bob became a man of action. So, why does Christ, our Lord Jesus Christ, even forbid divorce? It's because moving on too soon kills the chance to come back. And that's why you are here now, to see what your wife is really doing and how to reverse it. Why is your wife acting like a different person? Why does she seem so heartless when she used to love you? Look, this isn't random. She's following an emotional roadmap, and unless you see it, name it, and fight to reverse it, she will follow through. That's what we're diving into today. Phases 3, 4, and 5 of the wife's exit strategy. So let's get down to business. Bam. Phase 3 of the wife's exit strategy is she may see another man. She may start seeing another man. Now, most guys can't get over that. And but you got to understand why your wife is doing this, right? Why is your wife letting another man fancy her? Why is she allowing another man to get in her ear? Well, if you don't get yourself together in extreme cases, she will put herself on the market. Many times she doesn't do it knowingly or consciously. It's just a change in her. Okay. Whereas before, when a woman's marriage is strong and she's working around co-workers and stuff, she doesn't, is any dope try to talk to her, she'll say, look, I'm happily married, or she won't even give out any kind of signals. But when her marriage starts to go bad, or she's unhappy, or she's starting to think about her marriage, what happens is she starts to tell everybody. And people can see that. So people start to ask her, what's wrong? And so the bees come around, right? The home wreckers come around. The men come around, start talking to her, start making her feel good about herself, telling her how beautiful she is, how pretty she is, stuff like that. And guess what? Her husband at home ain't doing that anymore. Why? Because she has become his so-called partner. So she's not his beloved anymore. She's not on a pedestal. She's just a woman. She's not really his real wife. He doesn't treat her well. So when things start going bad in the marriage, or not even just going bad, when things start not being what she wants and her being happy, she'll start allowing another man to talk to her. So when your wife gets desperate, really desperate, she begins to allow other men to gain her fancy at work, at the store, her friends, old boyfriends. How many times have you heard about wives go on a darn internet, or men too, but we ain't talking about men, we talking about wives, what they do. How many times have you seen have you heard about a married woman who's supposedly happy in her marriage, got kids and has a so-called good life? She goes on Facebook, and she finds her old so-called boyfriend from college or high school, or even sometime middle school, something, and they start talking. And he starts, she starts confiding in him. See, another thing guys don't understand is most of us think our wife would never screw around on us. She would never cheat on us. That's a lie. Anybody who thinks that is in a dream world. Your wife can mess around on with you. She can, and she will. I don't care how safe of a woman you think you got. If your wife becomes unhappy and unloved and there's no emotional connection and things are going wrong, these are the things that she'll do. So when she allows another man in her life besides her husband, this is extremely dangerous in many ways. If she brings him to your home, let's say you're not home, and the wife brings another man to his home, to her home. Her husband's at work or something. If you try and get her back, he may see this as a threat. How many times? See, that's another thing guys don't realize. Once your woman allows another man to talk to her and be her friend and all these kind of things, he looks at, that's my woman now. That ain't your woman no more. It's my woman. So what? You become a threat. As a husband, you become a threat to him. So what does he do? Fight you back. I've had guys talk to the husband like he wasn't nothing. And the wife just sitting there, just she ain't saying nothing. Matter of fact, it happened to me. Okay, so the guy may confront you. He may track you down and confront you if you try to get her back. He may threaten you. I've had guys threaten other dudes before. It's very difficult to persuade your wife to return unless her relationship with him begins to turn sour. These are called rebound relationships. A lot of times people, when they're in a relationship other than with their spouse, they're having an affair, what'll happen is the situation will start to turn sour, and then the wife wants to come back to her husband, and sometimes they do, but a lot of times the man ain't changed. He's still the same jerk, or he hasn't progressed enough. And so what happens is the wife, she goes find somebody else or nobody and just stays by herself. I can't tell you how many men really, really believe that when things go wrong in the marriage, that it was not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. They'll say, "Well, I went to work. I brought my check home. I gave it to her. We went on vacation twice a year. We had sex. I thought the sex was good. But man, that just proves that guy does not understand women, does not understand his wife." And when you're talking about your wife, we've got to stop thinking about our wife as our partner. We got to start thinking about our wife as our beloved, the mother of our children, the one that God gave to us to get us to heaven. And this is how we get past that. We don't treat our wives like our daughters. We don't treat our wives like they're a buddy at work or a co-worker or some crap like that. We don't treat our wives like another. We treat other women. Our wife is special, and they expect to be treated like that for the rest of their lives, which means what? They expect you to court them and date them and win their heart the rest of their lives. And when we as husbands don't do that, that's how we open up to other men or them wanting to leave and things like that. It's very difficult. So this is what happens almost all the time. If the husband is patient and begins improving himself, she will many times change her mind and realize her current relationship is going nowhere and that she needs her family and will return. Like I said, a lot of times when that affair starts to go sour, and it will, why? Because there's no grace from God in it. It's not sanctioned by Jesus Christ. Of course it's going to go bad. Okay? But the key is you as the husband have to not be the same guy. You've got to be getting help. You've got to be trying to turn it around. You've got to be learning these skills to how to make a woman happy. Okay. If she leaves the other man, usually he will be okay with it and allow things to break up amicably. That's another thing. If you change and get yourself together as a man, another thing, men don't really realize that they're the leaders in the home given by God. So most men think, most men think, well, I don't have to change. I just keep doing what I want to do. They think that their wife will change or their kids will change. And then they go, well, then I'll act like I'm supposed to act. And that is a rookie mistake. That's a rookie mistake. When your wife will never in a million years change until the husband changes. She won't. Why? Because the way God has set it up as the natural order. Okay, God, Jesus Christ, husband, wife, children. The children and the wife look to the husband to guide them and lead them towards Christ. So they're not going to change. They're not. Whatever your wife is doing right now, she's going to keep doing it until you learn how to not make her act like that. Okay? Right. If you're not having sex, they think, well, she should just give me sex whenever I want. I'm her husband. That's okay. Yes. By God, she's supposed to. Like, you're supposed to give her sex when she wants. But is that how you want sex to be? Is it? Well, you got a woman that only gives you sex because it's her duty. She feels it's her duty to do it all the time. No, of course not. So what you have to do is try your best to understand women, understand what they want, give them what they want, serve them properly, and then you will get all the love making you want. But you got to understand what your wife is going through and what she's thinking. Okay. So what'll happen is if you draw your wife back to you, the other man will be like, well, yeah, going back to your husband, I understand. But if it's a forced thing, man, dudes, a lot of times dudes get into it and stuff, So this is why your prayer of defense against the diabolical is extremely important, as the Holy Spirit helps you protect your marriage when you are unable to be present. Most people don't understand that. They think, oh, my wife is gone. Well, I just say, oh, God, please bring my wife back. They don't go to church. They don't go to mass. They don't pray really proper. They don't do any kind of meditative prayer. They don't do scripture. They don't do nothing. Oh, God, just please bring my wife back. And tell everybody else to pray for them and all that kind of stuff. Man, that stuff ain't about nothing. When you ask people to pray for you, if they're in mortal sin, their prayers don't mean nothing. Only people who are in grace with God's prayers mean anything. If somebody's in prayer, if somebody is in mortal sin, their prayer has no merit in the eyes of God, so they don't get it. Only time it does is when the person praying, if they're praying for improvement of their self, then God will give them the grace to become a better man, a better husband, a better father, because that is on them. But praying for Joe Blow don't mean nothing when you in mortal sin. Okay. All right. Number 4, phase 4. So this is the 4th phase. So again, what we're talking about today is the steps the steps a wife takes when before the marriage is completely over, files for divorce, annulments, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. A lot of guys don't understand their future. Like the things I'm giving you, these phases, if you just listen to what I'm saying, you will start to see this stuff in your marriage right now. Is your wife nagging you? Of course she is. Unless your marriage is like good and great. Okay. And then these other two or three that is your wife. If your wife will start to move through these phases before she gets to the last two, and then it becomes very bad. Okay. So we've already talked about cheating and things like that. So the fourth phase your wife will go to. Another thing too, these phases, what do? Your wife is hoping through these phases before she files for divorce and all these kind of things, she's hoping that you, as her husband, she was hoping to have hope. It's called hope. Hope is a virtue. Faith, hope, and charity. She's hoping that her husband will change enough to make her forget about leaving, forget about filing divorce, forget about her affair. It's all on the husband to change. I had a guy ask me the other day, he asked me the other day, well, man, why I got to do all the changing? When she going to do something? First of all, again, like I said, you as a husband are held responsible for the marriage, for everything in that house. Okay. So that's what you're responsible for. Another thing is, if you expect your wife to change before you do, it's not going to happen. If you argue with your wife, she's going to argue with you. If you don't go to church, most times your wife ain't going to go to church. If you don't discipline your kids right, your wife ain't going to discipline the kids right. They're not going to be on the same page. You got to understand your wife, again, and your kids are looking at you. And when you change, they will change. When you become virtuous, they'll become virtuous. When you become holy, they'll strive for holiness. When you try to be a better man, they'll be trying to be better kids. She'll try to be a better woman. Why? Because my God, my husband is so great, I have to be worthy of him. See, that's what we don't understand as men. We think we just walk around, look like bums, wear holes in our jeans, and don't wash our butt, don't brush our teeth, don't do nothing, don't do anything for our husband, our wife, really. We just come home and just whatever. And we think they just go, oh, daddy's home. Oh, baby, you're home. Oh, I love you so much. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. When you want change in your house, you've got to make change. If you want more intimacy in your home, in your bedroom, you've got to do things to make that happen. Okay. So again, the fourth phase, your wife has now asked for divorce. So the first one was what? The first one was your wife trying to control you. She's nagging you. The second one is your wife leaves you temporarily. The third one was your wife is now seeing another man. Okay. But now the fourth one, those three are serious, but now we really deep into it. She's asked for a divorce. This can happen when she leaves the home permanently, but usually it happens while she is in the house. Sometimes this threat is just a ploy to get you to man up and take her seriously and to see what you will do or not do and how you will react. A lot of guys they take this like, okay, I can keep still doing what I'm doing. She's just bluffing. No, dude, your wife ain't really bluffing. She's just trying before she starts leaving out the house and doing things, getting really more upset and making things worse in the marriage. She's trying to give her husband a chance to get it together, to make her feel loved and make her feel cared for and make her feel like he used to before they got married and things like that. Okay. So it's really not a ploy. She's just trying to see what you're going to say and what you're going to do. And I've had a lot of guys, and this is so stupid, and I'm sorry I got to say it. She'll say, well, I want a divorce then. And then he'll go, that's right, I want a divorce too. Screw you. Leave. I had a guy tell a woman, just go ahead and leave then. Well, you know how women are. They're emotional. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to go pack their stuff and they're going to leave. I had another guy say, get a divorce then. So you know what his wife did? Within a week, she didn't file for divorce on him. Why say stupid stuff like that to accelerate things, to make things more worse than they already are? Okay. So, But many times when this is a ploy, her saying, she wants a divorce to see if she is, but many times she is really serious and is willing to threaten with divorce to see if you will get yourself together and begin being the husband she needs again. In my experience, many husbands still don't take her serious and decide this is just a bluff and that she is overreacting or being emotional. So they allow pride to get in the way and do nothing, which is a terrible rookie mistake. Please, if your wife says I want a divorce, and first of all, if you're in a good marriage, why are we talking about divorce? Why is divorce coming up? We shouldn't be talking about divorce. I don't care if you're Catholic or Protestant. Why are we talking about divorce? If you're talking about divorce, you already know your marriage is something's wrong. And you as the man, we have to start fixing this. Okay. So number 5, your wife, the 5th phase is the wife separates permanently. So permanently is different from temporarily. When I say permanently, we talking about, look, I done got an apartment and I got at least a 12-month lease. Okay, I'm serious. I'm not playing with you. Okay, if things don't change, she will then leave permanently, move to another room in the house permanently, or ask you to leave temporarily. She is now desperate in her mind. She's done all that she can do to save her marriage. That's another thing. Women think, this is why, guys, many men don't get it. Women think when they're to these levels, they think I done did everything I can do. I've done everything I can do in this marriage. And the guy's man, she's thinking, you ain't did nothing. You just now talking about leaving. You didn't tell me you was leaving. You didn't tell me you was unhappy. In her mind, she's giving you thousands of clues of her being unhappy. She's said 10,000 things. She's did all of these things. She's tried to talk to the husband. She's tried to even have sex with him to show how much she loves. She's done all these things, but the knucklehead does not change. And so when a woman is leaving or having an affair with another man, or she wants to leave permanently, and the man's going, well, what did I do wrong? First thing she's going to say is, you don't understand me and you know what you did wrong. They ain't going to tell you because in their mind, I've been telling you for 20 years what's wrong. You just never listen to me because you don't really love me. If you love me, you shouldn't have to ask me what's wrong. Ain't that wrong, fellas? Ain't that wrong? Okay, so now your wife is desperate. In her mind, she's done all she can do to save her marriage. She's most likely had a plan for separation from you for months or in many cases years. If she leaves, more than likely she will try and take the children with her. She has plans where to go, what to do with the kids, her money situation, and has talked to many people for advice and their experience in divorce matters. That's what women are going to do. They're going to go and talk to all their friends and get advice before they make action on you, okay? She has plans where to go now, what to do with the kids, her money situation, and has talked to many people for advice and their experience in divorce matters, and has probably went to see a lawyer, all under the guise of making you think everything is still normal and okay. That's what they do. Everything is normal. She's going to keep acting like everything's normal. Everything's fine. But see, as a husband, we can look at our wife and know when things ain't right. We know it. But we just wish it away. Okay. In order to get our wife back in this situation, so long-term separation, along with her having another man, is very grave and a serious burden on your soul, her soul, and the souls of your children. A lot of men go, doesn't she know what she's doing to the kids? Doesn't she know what she's doing to her soul? Man, she don't care like that. And that's really not a fair thing to say. She doesn't care, but she doesn't care enough. The pain is so bad. She wants the pain to stop. So she's going to do whatever it takes, no matter what God's talking about. She's going to do whatever it takes for the pain to stop. And that's where you, as a husband, come in with sympathy and empathy and understand is, I know everything is not my wife's fault. A lot of this is my fault. But what we normally do, we come to our wives blaming them and criticizing them and all that kind of stuff, and it just makes things worse. In order to get our wife back in this situation, We must be in for the long game and willing to die to yourself and remove all pride and ego and begin a journey of self-discovery and including a walk towards God. When your marriage is going bad, it's going bad for one reason. You are moving away from God. You're not praying enough. You're not going to mass. You're not going to adoration. You're not going to confession. You're not in scripture. You're not doing mental prayer. You're not going to daily mass. You're not fasting. You're just moving too far away from God. And he's going, that's enough. I'm going to screw up your marriage. I'm going to allow the demons to come in and screw up your marriage. Okay. This is what we got to understand. It's not necessarily your wife. The reason we don't have peace in our homes is because we, as the husbands, as the men, the protectors and defenders of that home, we aren't doing our job supernaturally to keep Satan out. Okay. Hey, I'm your coach now, and I really, really want to help. But watching this video is not enough. You have a serious homework assignment before you. First, comment action below, and I'll send you the PDF, which again breaks down all 7 phases of the wife's exit strategy. Use it while rewatching this video or on your own to simply track where your wife is emotionally. And if you're ready for personalized help, then it's time to book your brother-to-brother reset session with yours truly. This is not therapy. This is a get ready battle call where I help you map out a step-by-step plan to win back your wife's heart without begging, chasing, or simply making things worse. And with more clarity, confidence, and speed than you trying to figure it out on your own. Click the link in the description, pick your time, and I'll see you on the call, my man.